the Stanford Prison Experiment in 1971. An experiment designed to study human behavior revealed something terrifying about human nature.
What happens when ordinary people are given absolute power over others? In 1971, a psychological experiment inside Stanford University became one of the most disturbing studies ever conducted. Healthy college students were transformed into guards and prisoners inside a simulated prison, but within only a few days, the line between roleplay and reality began to disappear. What started as an experiment about human behavior quickly became a terrifying demonstration of how power can change people. And the most disturbing part is how quickly it happened.
When power changes people.
In the summer of 1971, psychologist Philip Zimbardo launched an experiment inside the basement of Stanford University. The goal seemed simple: to study how ordinary people would behave inside a simulated prison environment. 24 healthy college students were selected. None had criminal backgrounds. None showed signs of psychological instability. The students were randomly divided into two groups, guards and prisoners. At first, everyone understood it was only an experiment, but that understanding would not last for long.
The role play begins.
The prisoners were arrested unexpectedly at their homes by real police officers. They were fingerprinted, searched, and transported to the simulated prison. Inside the prison, they were stripped of individuality. Names were replaced with numbers. The guards wore uniforms, mirrored sunglasses, and carried batons. Almost immediately, the atmosphere began to change. The guards started asserting dominance. What began as roleplay slowly evolved into humiliation, intimidation, and psychological control. And with every passing hour, the situation became more disturbing.
The loss of humanity.
Some prisoners began showing signs of emotional breakdown. They cried, shouted, and begged to leave. But the guards continued escalating their behavior. Sleep deprivation, isolation, public humiliation. The power they had been given slowly detached them from empathy. Meanwhile, the prisoners became passive, obedient, and psychologically exhausted. The experiment no longer felt simulated. The prison had become psychologically real.
The experiment collapses.
Originally, the experiment was supposed to last 2 weeks. It ended after only 6 days. Researchers watching the situation became deeply disturbed by how quickly normal students embraced abusive behavior. Even Philip Zimbardo himself became emotionally immersed in the experiment. The study shocked the world, not because monsters had participated, but because ordinary people had adapted to the roles so quickly.
Human nature.
The Stanford Prison Experiment revealed something deeply uncomfortable about human behavior. Under certain conditions, power can corrupt faster than most people imagine. When systems normalize control, humiliation, and obedience, ordinary individuals can slowly lose their sense of morality. The experiment became one of the strongest demonstrations of how environments shape human behavior. And perhaps the most disturbing question it leaves behind is not whether the guards were evil, but how many of us would behave differently in the same situation.